3 years ago, Ryan swore he'd never take Route 41 again. The last time he did, a stranger at a gas pump told him, "Watch the passenger seat." He laughed then, but the words clung like tar. On the morning of their one last family trip, his wife Claire kissed his cheek as if she were sealing a secret. Ryan drove the SUV north toward Wisconsin, hands steady at 10 and 2 the way his father taught him. He was 57, a facilities manager who still printed directions just in case. And he'd planned this vacation like a project. Cabin reservation, cooler packed, roadside stops mapped out. Their daughter Megan sat behind him with a college brochure. Their son Luke, 15, leaned against the window, pretending he didn't care about anything. Claire rode shotgun, sunglasses on, phone in her lap. She'd been like that lately, present in body, elsewhere in spirit. Ryan told himself it was normal. The kids were growing. Work was heavy. Marriage, after 28 years, was more like a well-worn coat than fireworks. Still, little things bothered him. Tuesdays, she wore perfume. She'd started taking calls in the garage. And when he asked how her volunteering went, her answers sounded rehearsed, like lines learned too late. A weather alert crackled over the radio. Thunderstorms moving in fast, heavy rain. Possible flooding. Ryan turned it down. The sky ahead bruised to charcoal. "We can pull off," he offered. "We're fine," Claire said quickly, tapping her screen twice. Rain began as peppered dots, then thickened into a sheet. The wipers thumped harder. Trucks threw up curtains of spray that erased the lane lines for a heartbeat at a time. The kids quieted. Even Luke put both earbuds in as if silence could be manufactured. A text tone chimed from Claire's lap. She angled the phone away. Ryan pretended not to notice. A man learns, in long marriages, which questions start fires. But the knot in his stomach tightened anyway. Then his own phone rang through the car speakers. Unknown number. He nearly ignored it, but his thumb hit the steering wheel button. "Hello?" A man answered, breath sharp with anger. "Ryan Donovan?" "Yes." "Who is this?" Pause. Evan Hart. We met at the charity golf thing last fall. Claire brought you over." Ryan remembered a broad-shouldered guy with a salesman's smile. Claire had laughed too hard at something Evan said. "Why are you calling me?" Ryan asked. In the passenger seat, Claire went still. Her sunglasses hid her eyes, but her mouth tightened like a drawn string. "Ryan," she whispered. "Hang up." Ryan kept his gaze on the wet road. "Talk." Evan's voice dropped like he didn't want to be heard. "Because she won't answer, and I'm done being the only one who knows." He swallowed. "We've been seeing each other 8 months." The words hit Ryan's chest, not like a punch, like cold water. Outside, rain hammered the windshield, as if the sky wanted to drown the sentence. Ryan forced his voice to stay even. "You sure you have the right person?" Evan let out a dry laugh. "Claire, your wife. The one who calls me her escape. The one with the second phone she keeps in the lining of her purse. The one who booked a hotel in Milwaukee last month on your joint card because she figured you never checked the statements." Claire's hand flew to her purse, instinctive and too late. Ryan's mind flashed through recent weeks. The girls' weekend, the unexplained charge, the Tuesday perfume, the garage calls. He'd filed each one away under harmless. Now they snapped together into a picture he hadn't wanted to see. Lightning forked to the left. Thunder followed so close, it rattled the dash. Luke yanked an earbud out. "Dad, who's that?" Megan leaned forward between the seats, eyes wide. "What's going on?" Ryan's throat burned. He couldn't look at Claire. If he did, he might jerk the wheel. And then betrayal would become tragedy. "Kids, seatbelts tight," he said quietly. "Weather's bad." Claire reached across and gripped his forearm. Her fingers trembled. "Ryan, please, not in front of them." You chose in front of them, he said, voice low and final. Every time you sat right there. On the line, Evan spoke faster. She told me you were basically roommates. Said she'd leave after the holidays, then after your anniversary, then after your daughter's graduation. Always a new date. His anger sharpened. Last night, she said she was on a family trip and I should stop calling, like I'm a problem to manage. Ryan saw an exit sign through the rain. Rest area, 1 mile. He signaled and eased onto the ramp, hands firm, though his heart thumped like it wanted out. He parked under a dripping shelter. The engine ticked. Rain drummed the roof. Ryan kept the call on speaker. Evan, he said, tell me something only she'd know. If this is a sick prank, I need to know now. Evan didn't hesitate. Small scar on her right hip from a fall when she was 12. Hates cilantro but pretends she doesn't. Keeps her dad's letters in a shoebox under your bed, even though she told you she threw them away. Ryan closed his eyes. Each detail nailed the truth down. Claire's sunglasses came off. Her mascara was already smudging. She looked suddenly older, caught without a costume. She didn't deny it. She couldn't. Ryan ended the call. The screen went dark. The silence that followed was heavier than the storm. Luke stared at his mother like she'd been replaced. Is it true? Claire nodded once, a small movement that changed everything. Megan's voice cracked. Mom? Why? Claire reached back toward them. I love you. I made a mistake. Luke snapped. 8 months isn't a mistake. It's a whole other life. Ryan breathed in slow, steady pulls, the way he did when machines failed at work and panic solved nothing. He turned in his seat to face his kids. Listen to me, he said. None of this is because of you. Not one bit. Outside, the rain eased to a steady hiss. Cars rolled past on the highway, strangers continuing their days. The world didn't stop for a broken family. Ryan faced Claire. When we get back on the road, he said, we're not going to the cabin. We're going home. Claire's eyes filled. Ryan, please, I was lonely. You were always working. Ryan's laugh came out thin. So was I. I didn't crawl into someone else's bed. He pointed to her purse. And don't insult me by pretending this was one bad night. Her shoulders sagged. I didn't know how to stop. You stopped every time you chose it again, Luke muttered, staring out the window. Ryan reached into the console and pulled out the stapled reservation packet, the one he'd printed like a proud fool. I'm not doing this performance, he said, more to himself than to anyone. He opened the glove box for a pen and an envelope slid out, landing by Claire's feet. Claire's breath caught. Ryan picked it up. His name was typed on the front in clean, unfamiliar letters. Inside were photocopies, a lawyer's letterhead, a draft separation agreement, and a list of accounts with highlighted numbers. His retirement, the college fund, notes in the margin, transfer after cabin trip, and tell kids when safe. Megan whispered, Dad, what is that? Ryan's jaw tightened until it hurt. Seeing the numbers circled felt worse than the affair. Sex was betrayal of the heart. This was betrayal of the years. Claire's voice came out thin. I was going to talk to you. When? Ryan asked, holding up the papers. After the cabin? After the money moved? Luke leaned forward, eyes hard. So, you were going to take everything and just leave? Claire shook her head, crying. I thought it would be cleaner. Ryan stared at her, and something in him went quiet, the way a house goes quiet when the power shuts off. Cleaner, he repeated. You planned our life. Like a checklist. He slid the papers back into the envelope and tucked it away, not to protect her, but to protect the kids from more adult damage. From this moment on, he said, you tell the truth, and you don't touch a dime without me watching. She nodded, small and broken. Ryan heard the gas station stranger again, watched the passenger seat, and knew it wasn't superstition. It was advice today. Ryan started the engine. His hands were steady now, but something inside him had shifted, like a bolt finally shearing after years of strain. He looked at Megan and Luke in the mirror. "We'll figure out the rest at home," he said. "Together." Megan reached for Luke's hand. He let her hold it. Ryan eased the SUV back onto the wet road, slower than before, as if the world required a different speed. Claire sat beside him, quiet, smaller than she'd ever seemed, staring at the rain-streaked glass. Route 41 stretched ahead, washed clean and indifferent, and Ryan understood the old warning at last. Watch the passenger seat, because the person beside you can change, and you might not see it until the storm forces the truth into the open.